and welcome to what I'm calling my winter hopefuls. I don't do well with monthly TBRs of picking out even 2 or 3 books that I for sure want to read in 1 month because I'm a very huge mood reader. And so let's start with the 2 books that I do plan on picking up, or I am actually currently reading, and that is In the Company of Witches by Arilee Wallace. This was actually the October pick for the Cozy Hollow book club. I just have not finished it. I do have this, it's still October, for another few hours, and so maybe I have a chance of finishing this, but if not, it's going to go into my winter hopefuls. If you watched my wrap-up library haul for October, I did say that I'm going to give this about 50 more pages before I decide if it's not for me and put it down, because I'm not fully invested right now, but I do want to continue to give it a good solid chance. So we'll see. And then the next book that I actually need to either get to it now or I have to return to the library. Well, I have to return to the library no matter what on the 7th. And that is Recursion by Blake Crouch. This is a sci-fi thriller-esque book about memory and what would happen if someone started tampering with memory. Which I think that's a gist that I get from the synopsis. Anyway, I really enjoyed Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and I've had this from the library as long as I possibly can. And as I said, it's due on the 7th, and so I hope to pick it up right away. That's why I'm trying to finish this one quickly so I can move on. So hope to get to that in the next day or two, and I should be able to finish it before I have to return it. For the other 9 books that are on my hopefuls for the end of the year winter TBR, I separated them into 3 different stacks. The first stack are my stacks of newly acquired books, recently acquired books. And the first book is Just Haven't Met You by Sophie Cousins. So this book is a contemporary romance novel about Laura, who accidentally takes the wrong suitcase at the airport and trying to get the suitcase back to the owner. And so I definitely feel like it's gonna just be a great cozy romance novel, which I love to read during this time of year. And so I will most likely be picking this up in this month, maybe during a readathon that is happening in a week or so. So I am looking forward to picking this book up. And the next book that is on the newly acquired, which I actually just bought like 2 days ago. I was at Target. I was picking up a book for my friend for her birthday, and it was buy one get one 50% off. And so of course I had to buy 2 books, one for her and one for me. And the book I bought is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and this has been on my radar for a while now. And even though this is more of a summer read because it obviously takes place in the summer, I just love a good contemporary romance. And so this follows, I just love the tagline, 6 summers to fall in love, 1 moment to fall apart, a weekend to get it right. So I just love a book that covers a wide span of timelines, and I just love like piecing it together, figuring out, okay, how did they get here? How are they going to fix it? What happened? And so I'm really looking forward to picking this book up. And even though it does have more summer vibes, I still think it'll be good read for this time of year. And then the last book that I recently acquired is Wistress by Nadine Brandis. This is a fantasy-esque book about this girl who can grant wishes with her tears, but her next wish that she grants will kill her. And then about a guy who needs a wish granted. And I have heard so much good things about this book, and I've been wanting to read more of Nadine's books. I read Romanoff and I really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting into this book in this season. And I also love a good fantasy-esque book during these winter cozy months. So that is Wistress by Nadine Brandis. Next 3 books are books that have been on my TBR shelf for an extended period of time, some longer than others, and they really do just need to come off my TBR shelf because I want to read them, I just haven't gotten around to them. And the first book is The Eye of the World, the first book in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. And I've had this book on my shelf the shortest amount of time. Got it last year for Christmas. This has been on like my radar, but I never wanted to get into it because the series is so long and each book is so long. But my nephew, who's 19, he loves these books. And so I'd like to have things to talk about and connect with my family. And so I was like, I'm going to finally pick this up because it's been on my radar and I do enjoy a good epic fantasy. So I want to get started on this book. So, and he did say that the audiobook is also really good to start reading it with your eyes, but then you can go to the audiobook and it is really good. So maybe that is something that I will do as well. So that is The Eye of the World. I have no idea what this is about except that it's an epic fantasy. Next book I've had on my shelf for 2 or 3 years. I got it for Christmas or my birthday 2 or 3 years ago, and that is Tamara Alexander, Colors of Truth, book in the Carton novel series. This book is set just after the Civil War, set in Franklin, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, where one of the most epic and bloodiest battles of the Civil War took place. The first book in our series actually centers around that particular battle, and I haven't picked this up mainly because I know that this deals with it's a little bit heavier than I've wanted to read in the last few years, but I really do love Tamara Alexander. She's one of my favorite authors. And the story sounds really intriguing, and I know that Tamara Alexander will deliver just an amazing story, but also her stories are so historically accurate because she spends months and years learning the history of whatever book time period that she is writing. And I feel like she does her best to write respectful of what's going on in the time period and her characters. So looking forward to reading this book. Last book in my long-awaited books that have been on my TBR is Unraveling by Sarah Ella. This is the second book in the Unblemished Trilogy, and I read Unblemished I think like 4 or 5 years. When it first came out, I read it, and then I just recently reread it this year. And so I want to continue on in the series before the first book is out of my head, and so I want to get to this book. And this picks up right after, I think, where Unblemished ended. And so I know that there's like a pirate ship-esque storyline, I think, in the story, and so I love a good pirate ship. So I'm looking forward to getting back into this world and reading more in this story. And then the last stack of books are books that I want to reread. First book is The Lives of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I read this book way back in 2014 when I first started my BookTube channel, and I absolutely love this story. It follows a band of brothers called the Gentlemen Bastards, and they are a heist type team, and I absolutely loved the story, and I want to continue on in the series. I just haven't, and then I am so far removed from this book that I don't remember enough of the details of the characters and who they are, and so I need to reread the story. And so I'm really looking forward to getting into this book and just experiencing these characters again, because I just remember absolutely loving them. And I love a good heist story or movie because it's just so fun. Like, one of my favorite TV shows is Leverage, because they are a heist team and every episode is about a heist, and heist-esque, like misleading. It's great. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into this book so I can continue on in the series. The next book is Night's Shadow by Sebastian de Castell. This is the second book in the Greatcoats series, and I just recently reread the first book in this series, and it's, again, I want to continue on in this series that I absolutely loved when I first read the first two books, and I just put aside the series for whatever reason, and then again I just got too far removed that I don't remember enough of the details, and I actually don't remember hardly anything about this book except there's a point in the book where I remember laughing and then weeping and then laughing and then weeping, like in the span of like 5 pages. And so I'm looking forward to that pain and that laughter again. So I do want to get to this really soon because I want to continue on in this series. I have the third book. I just haven't got around to it. So that is Night's Shadow. And then the last book that is on my hopefuls for the end of the year winter TBR is Falling Like Snow by Denise Hunter, and she's another one of my favorite authors, and I just remember loving this story. This is a romance contemporary novel following two characters, Eden and Bo, and it's a small town, and I think this is one where they're on they own a Christmas tree farm, and so and then her and Eden just shows up in this town with her daughter and needs a place to stay, and I don't remember a whole lot more about it than that. So really looking forward to reading this story, and I do remember it's a great cozy Christmas book. It's set around Christmas time. I'm really looking forward to reading this book. I probably will wait until December to read this book, and it's also one of my favorite covers. I just feel like I feel the emotion in this cover. So okay, so I just realized I have a lot of really, really big books. 3 of them like epic fantasy books, and a chunker of historical fiction. And then I'm glad I have some palate cleanser contemporary romance novels, and then some decent size fantasy-esque books to round out this TBR. So guys, if you have read any of these, let me know down below, like ones maybe should I prioritize, or maybe which ones would be good to buddy read and you want to buddy read with me. Let me know down below. And guys, I hope you're having a great reading month. I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye!